Okay, so today we're going to start our prospecting section. So we got rid of the introduction, the time management, mindset, and understanding the personality types, how to talk to people, how to deal with them, right? Disc profiling. Now, the most important part of real estate is prospecting. What do I mean by that? Does anybody have an idea what I mean by that?
No, I'm clueless.
Okay, it's okay. Anybody? No? Okay, so prospecting is generating business. Okay, it doesn't matter what your product is. It doesn't matter how good your service is. It doesn't matter if you're the best at what you do. If you don't prospect and let people know, you're never going to get any business, right? Let me turn my beeper thing off here, my phone. Okay, right? So you're never going to get any business. Okay, now I'll use an example. You have a mom and pop pizza shop, or you have a mom and pop sandwich shop that makes amazing food, right? Authentic, a little mom and pop Italian restaurant. Anything that makes great food, the best food, all right? However, you have an Olive Garden next door, you have a Domino's Pizza next door, and you have a Subway restaurant next door. And because Subway and Domino's, they spend millions and millions of dollars advertising, right? TV, they could spend millions and millions of dollars because they're making, if they make $7 a pizza and they're selling a million pizzas a day, they're making 7 million a day. They could spend millions of dollars. The mom and pop shops there make a better product, better food, but they can't spend the money to let the public know, right? So Subway sells their sandwiches and the other place goes out of business. But even though it's better food, they don't get the word out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So prospecting is how you let the world know what you're doing. You let the world know about your service. If me as a real estate broker never talked to anybody and told them what I do, or called somebody and told them what I do you think people would knock on my door and say, "Hey, can you sell my house for me?"
No.
I've been here a year in this office. 3 people knocked on my door. 3 people. I have signs. I'm here. Like 3 people have knocked on my door for business. It doesn't work like that anymore. You have to let the people know who you are, what you do, and why you're the logical choice for them to deal with, right? And how else can you do that without spending millions of dollars, right?
Social media for one.
Social media, sure.
Phone calls.
Phone calls, yeah. Social media, phone calls. Um, these meetup groups. I just took over an investors meetup group and I started my own, which Crystal's on the meetup group. I don't know if you guys seen that. Getting out to the public. I'm going to hold events here. When I had my office on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, I used to do like wind down Wednesdays. I would have music. I'd have somebody come play like music, and I'd have food and I'd have drinks. I get beer and wine, give it away for free. And people would come have a drink. And I was right by the beach. There was a bunch of bars around me, a bunch of restaurants. People would be walking there. I'd get people from Canada, from Europe, because it was on the beach in Fort Lauderdale. And I would get 2, 3 deals a month like that. A little bit different than being on Cassett and Blanding in Jacksonville. But you know what I mean? It's like the point I'm trying to make is people saw who I was and they knew me and they became friends with me and it grew, right? So that's an example. 70% of my business, 75% of my business comes from calling people. And I hate it. I hate calling people, right? It's rejection. You get turned off. It's not fun. It's not fun, but it's work, right? And how you make this business work is by talking to people. It's the only way to make this business work. It's going to get a little bit harder. I mean, the way everything's going, I'm not sure how AI is going to work with it. I'm meeting with these people trying to figure out how to put AI into what we're doing to generate clients for us. I'm in the process of doing that. I don't have it all down yet. I should by the next week or two know which way to go with it, so I can learn it all myself and try to figure it out, because I don't want to just believe what they're telling me. I got to do a little research into it before I decide on if it's going to work or not. for me. But do you guys understand prospecting? It doesn't matter how good you can write a contract. It doesn't matter how much you know the law. It doesn't matter anything if you can't get a client. Is that understood? Like, you get that, right? If you don't have a client, there's nothing you can do. So
Right.
the key is getting the client. What can you do to get the client? Okay. So prospecting, that's what we're doing tonight. Okay. So we're going to turn this red and we're going to save that and we're going to close it. Okay. So what I want to do is we're going to go over the prospecting first, what it is, and then I'm going to start our talking points and going through them with you guys line by line and why each line is there. I'm going to dissect it for you guys. Crystal, we did this stuff before. I'm going to do it a little bit different tonight. I'm going to say the line and I'm actually going to tell you why we're saying it and what we're trying to get across. Okay. And if you could take that line and put it into a little bit different words for you and make the same point get across, it's okay. Right. So that's why I want to give you guys a little bit of freedom. You don't have to talk like me because I'm a D, you're an S. It doesn't work. Right. You're not going to talk like me. Right. And you adjust differently. So I'm going to explain to you guys why this is what I'm saying. And this is what I'm trying to get across. And if you guys want, write down your line, make a different line if you want. I don't care, as long as you get the point across, right? Okay, so let's talk about prospecting. Okay. Now, this making a list, this would be like every listing you took, every sale that you had. They're predictable and they're duplicatable. Like when you take listings and you do your deals, everything you do is predictable. And if you did it once, you could do it again. That's why I tell you guys, it's the same conversation on the phone or at the bar, at the gym, at a restaurant. It's the same conversation. You got to duplicate the conversations. So if you can't duplicate the result and the response of an activity that you're trying to get across to somebody, you don't repeat that activity. Right? So if something doesn't work, you don't do it. If something does work, you do it. Okay, if you source your business, you can determine if you can predict and duplicate your business activity. Right? So if you're going to make calls and you're going to make 100 calls, you should be able to contact 20 people. And from those 20 people, you should be able to have good conversations with 10 of them. 10 of them you're going to follow up with. Of those 10, you should probably get 2 or 3 appointments. That's like national statistics. Starting out, you're going to be worse. After you do it a lot, you're going to get better, right? I mean, I pick up the phone, I start talking to somebody, boom. It's pretty much, if they're serious, I can pretty much get through to them because I've done this all my life. So what are the challenges people have to prospecting? Okay. Number one, we've never been taught how to prospect. You go to kindergarten, you're taught how to make friends. You're taught math, you're never taught how to prospect and sell yourself, right? You're never taught how to communicate and offer things to people that way. There's no school for it. Okay. Number two, you don't know what to say. So, when you're prospecting, you never start a question that doesn't start with who, what, when, where, why, or how. Right? So, when we're talking to people, you gotta give a question to them that they're gonna have to talk, not just say yes or no. Does that make sense? You don't want to ask them something that the answer is no, or the answer is yes. You want them to talk. You want to start conversation, dialogue. Okay. Okay. So questions, why are you selling your house? Are you still selling your house? Where are you going to go when your house sells? Why do you think we didn't see your house go on the market? Right. There are questions that we're getting into people's heads. Okay. So does that make sense to you guys? You want to have dialogue with them. The only way you're going to be able to relate to them and find out their personalities is to communicate with them. Right. So not knowing how to prospect is an issue. And not knowing what to say is an issue. That's what it comes down to. You got to know what to say and how to say it. Okay. The third thing is people, like sometimes we have bad work habits. Like a lot of people have bad work habits. They do what they have to do to get done and they move on. Number four, a lot of times we can't handle rejection, acceptance, or embarrassment. Okay. And number five is we don't track our numbers. You just do it and do it and do it, and you don't track what's happening. So you got to track what's happening, because if you don't, it's just not going to make sense. You're going to keep doing it. You get sick and tired of it. You're going to stop. But if you have a goal and you say, I'm going to make this many calls, let me see how many I'm going to contact. Let me see how many are going to turn into appointments. Let me see how many I'm going to close. And then you have something to go against, to play against, to hold yourself to. Because if you make 10 phone calls and you get nowhere, it's harder to make the 11th, harder to make the 12th, harder to make the 13th. But if you have a goal of getting to 100 calls, you're focusing on something. It's pushing you to that, right? Okay. Now, what are methods of prospecting? Okay, you have past clients. This would be people that you've done in real estate. Me, I have a list of past clients. You guys don't have that. But you have clients that you dealt with in your other businesses or in your previous job, people that you've dealt with. You have a hairdresser, a nail salon, you have a bar, a restaurant, people you know, right? Center of influence. I have a training we're going to do on that, about contacting everybody in different circles of who you know to let them know what you're doing. For sale by owners, people selling their house on their own. Expired listings. Just listed and just sold phone calls. So when we list a property, we get the 100, 2, 3, 4, 500 houses around it. And we can call them and say, hey, look, hey, we just sold this. We just listed a house, or we just sold the house in your neighborhood. We wanted to call you, let you know who we are, what we do. And in case you're ever looking to sell something or buy something, or if you know anybody, we just want to let you know who we are. Can we run a report for you, send you some information, blah, blah, blah. Right? Agent to agent referrals. I've gotten those where other agents sent me clients and I pay them a referral fee. Sign calls and ads, right? If you run an ad, people see you on Facebook, or you have signs up in your listings. Okay. Cold calls by phone or doors. You can knock on doors. You can do different things like that. A lot of HOAs, a lot of these gated communities don't allow that, but it's a way of doing business. And then also your current client referrals. People you're working with that are going to refer people to you. Okay. You also have direct mail, affiliate referrals, open houses. If you decide to do them, I've done like one in my life. Open houses for me, especially in today's climate, they draw a lot of negative people. People come back, they rob houses. Sometimes sellers don't even want them anymore because they don't want people walking through the house unless they know who they are. When you do an open house, you got to have their driver's licenses before they go in. You don't want anybody in somebody's house that you don't know who they are. There's even stories you can look online. 2, 3 people will go to open house and one or two of them keep their attention. Somebody else is going through the house and robbing it. They're taking things. It happens. Okay. Floor time is if you're in the office and people walk in, you can have certain hours in being there, busy locations. Now, if you're on the beach or somewhere where people are walking all the time, yeah. Relocation services. You have companies that relocate people when businesses are moving. You have farming. You could pick a zip code or an area, send flyers, send mailers, knock on doors, have like a farming area that you nurture. Okay. Scheduling and prospecting become the critical factors in making your business work. And that's a fact. It's the most important activity you're going to do is to drive business. Is to gain business. Is to get your name out there, talk to people, and make them want to work with you. Okay. To make the process of prospecting easier, the first thing you can do is start calling your past clients and center of influences first, because you already know them. And when I say call them, the talking points I'm going to go over with you are designed for an expired listing. However, you take the same information, you just let your friends know what you're doing. If you call your friend up and you say, hey, I got my real estate license, I'm in real estate now. What's the next thing you're going to say to them? Send me somebody you know. Who's going to do that? Because they don't know if you know what you're doing, right?
Right.
So, like, if you went to your friend and said that, like, I mean, they trust you, they like you, but are they going to put somebody putting a lot of money into something with you if they don't know that you're going to, do a good job for it, right? Not that you don't want to do a good job. They just don't know if you know how to do a good job, right? It's not that they don't trust you. It's that there's no track record, right? There's nothing saying, oh, wow, you just got into real estate. Last week you were doing this, or 2 weeks ago you were doing that, right? So, getting a real estate license is a 2.5 week course and passing a test, right? Now, there's some really great people in real estate and there's some really poor people in real estate. How do you know the difference if you don't know them, right? So, give me, Leah, you just got your license.
Yes.
How would you talk to me to let me know you were in real estate? What would you say to me to convince me to work with you?
You know what? That's a good question. And I don't have a really good answer only
Right.
because I signed up to do the apprenticeship to learn how to do that.
Right. And so that's honesty right there. That's your personality. That's so,
Right.
but like, how do you do it? Right. That right there, what you said is how every person who got their real estate license feels.
Mhm.
And some people who have their real estate license for a year feel the same way, or 2 years. And that's why 87% of the people who get their license quit after 2 years, because nobody explains this. Nobody teaches them what to say. Does that make sense?
Right.
See, I'm going to teach you right now what to say. I'm going to talk to you, and let's say I'm brand new in real estate. So, hey, Leah, my name's Phil. Obviously, we don't know each other, but just want to take a second and introduce myself to you. So, I'm in real estate. Our organization, we own a real estate school. We teach people how to get their license for the Florida Real Estate Commission. We also teach agents or the public how to get their license. We actually certify them for the state, and then they take their state test and become a realtor. We take agents and realtors who are currently licensed, and we teach them the 72-hour courses and teach them how to be brokers. We actually teach over 30 courses. Okay. We're a real estate brokerage. We buy, we sell, we develop, we do everything with real estate. We represent people selling and buying. We're actually top 5% in transactions in the state of Florida. Could you say that to somebody?
I could say those things once I recite them several
Right.
times.
But
Yeah.
how would that sound to somebody if you could, hey,
It
Jen,
sounds better than me being new and don't know anything.
right? And you say, hey, Jenny, Jenny's your friend. Hey, Jenny, listen, I got my real estate license and I'm working with a company. We own a real estate school. We own a brokerage. We teach people how to get a real estate license. We're top 5% in the state for transactions, right? Those 3 sentences right there. What did that do for your confidence, or what did that do for you with Jenny?
Yeah.
Jenny looks at you like, holy shit, how'd you learn all that?
Right.
Do you see what you just did? You took her up a roller coaster ride, right?
Right.
That's just an introduction. That's the beginning of it, right? Does everybody see that? Like, do you see the difference going from real estate license, not knowing anything, to
Mhm.
just knowing how to say 3 sentences? And how that affects the perception of the people, right? That's what I'm going to teach you. By the time I'm done going over these talking points with you, you're going to sound like me, because I'm your partner and broker, and you're going to be able to relay that to them with you to get the appointment and to talk to them and get set up where we can have a conversation. Right? Do you understand the gist of where we're going, what direction?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so you have to remove distractions to your prospecting effort. So when you say, look, I'm going to make calls and I'm going to talk to people about real estate, the only way you're going to get good at this is by practicing and messing up and doing it over and over. Okay, you got to eliminate the distractions. You got to put that time aside, and you got to make the calls. If you have to come into the office here to make the calls, come in. I'll work with you. I'll help you make the calls. Okay. So we can set times up for that if you guys want to do that. I have no problem doing that. Okay. Okay. The key to prospecting is to master repetitious boredom. It gets boring. It gets monotonous calling people, talking to people. People hang up. People don't answer, right? You got to be able to practice the talking points daily. You got to understand these talking points like it's your favorite song. Remember Johnny Depp? We talked about, Johnny Depp being Johnny Depp is drunk in some bar somewhere. Johnny Depp being a pirate when he reads a script and a dialogue gets $300 million from Disney, right? Very simple. Okay. You can't let somebody else's response, while you're doing your job, determine the future. People are going to be assholes. People don't want to talk on the phone, but you're going to get one or two, three people that need help, and you're going to do a business. You're going to do a deal with them, right? You're going to do a deal with them, and that's how it works. You're not going to get them all. Okay. Do you guys understand what I mean by prospecting?
Yeah,
What
I do.
prospecting is? It's
Gathering leads.
gold. Okay. All right, good. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start working on the talking points and why they're there and what they do and how they work. Okay. Let me explain the process to you. Okay, so the first thing we do is we call the client. We call the person we want to talk to. We have a conversation with them. Okay. Once the conversation is done, we send them a text message. We send them an email. We send them a second email with a report. Then we schedule a Zoom call with you, me, and them. And at that point, I take over and teach you as we go. So what you do is you have a conversation with them. You send them a text message. You send them an email. You send an email with a report to me and them. I'll send you an email back, and then you call and schedule a Zoom appointment with them. Sometimes you'll schedule the Zoom appointment before you send the report. And if you do that, it's a different email you send. I have all the texts. I have all the emails pre-made. So all you have to do is you get off the phone with them, you paste the text, you put their name, you paste the text, boom. You go to your computer, you copy the email, you paste the email, you send it. You go to your computer, we're going to set up your RPR with your logos and everything and your pictures, and you're going to send them a report, and you're going to copy me on the report. That email's already made too. Copy, paste. I'm going to send an email back to you and them. And at that point, either the Zoom is already set up or you're going to call them back. Hey, did you get the report? Great. Let's set up the Zoom call for tomorrow at 3 or tomorrow at 4, whatever's available in my calendar. And then you set the Zoom call up. And I'm going to walk you guys through every step of that. So it's a text, it's an email, it's setting up the Zoom appointment. 5 steps. Okay. Now, the first thing we do is we go into Land Voice and we have our list of people and we decipher what area and who we want to call, right? So the first thing we do is the talking points. Okay. You guys have this. It's in your folder. I don't know if any of you guys went through it and looked through them. It's under talking points. You remember the list of how to connect, position, inspire? Remember we were talking about that? Let me pull it up real quick. Hold on. You remember this here, right?
The little triangle thing. Yeah.
I think is it in here? Where is all that? The little triangle, is it in here? It's not in there. Hold on. I forget where I have it. It was day 4. It's in here. This one, right?
Yep.
So what we're doing right now, these talking points are the first 3 steps. It's going to teach you how to connect with the people, how to position properly, and how to inspire them to get on that Zoom call and let us work with them. That's the point of the talking points. Delivering the results is what I'm going to do for you until you're knowledgeable enough to do that. And this is breaking it down. Remember those 90 steps of selling a house?
Mhm.
This is about 25 of them broken, like dumbed down to what it is: connecting, positioning, inspiring. That is your job right now. You don't have to worry about a listing. You don't have to worry about a contract. You don't have to worry about showing property, nothing. You have one job to learn this business. Is to connect with people, position properly, and inspire them to get on that Zoom call. Then once they're on that Zoom call, I'm going to start teaching you how to do a listing presentation. You're going to see me doing it. I'm going to teach you how to write a contract. I'm going to teach you, once we have the clients there, I'm going to teach you every step of the way. But if you guys can't connect with them, position with them, and inspire them, there's no point. Does that make sense? You got to
Yeah.
be able to get a client. My whole point of this apprenticeship is to teach you in the beginning how to get a client. Because if you can't get a client, you're never going to be successful in this business. It doesn't matter if you know everything else. Does that make sense? I'm trying to take away, like if you're standing in front of a fire hose and I turn that thing on all the way, it's going to blow you across the street.
Right.
So what I'm doing is I'm turning that fire hose just a little bit and the water's hitting you. Right? Because if you can connect, position, and get the client, now I could turn the water on a little more. You get what I'm saying? And then I can show you the next steps. There's no point in showing you how to write a contract if you can't get that client in front of you. Do you understand why I'm trying to break it down this way?
Yeah.
See, when you go to Keller Williams, when you go to EXP, when you go to all those companies, they tell you how to get contracts. They tell you how to do this, how to use this computer system, how to be an avatar on a computer screen and go play volleyball with them in like across the country or whatever. They have all these crazy things online. Nothing about getting business done. Okay. The only thing that matters in this business is a client. I don't care who you are. If you can't get a client, it's not going to work for you. Getting the client is the hardest thing in the world. Make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So that's what I'm trying to explain. Is everybody on the same page as me? Give me some answers, people.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. I'm on the page.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. I want to be very clear. I want to do the best I can to help nurture you guys to get to that point. Okay. Good. All right. So the first step to connecting with them is you need to break the ice. And you have to get an introduction going, right? So breaking the ice in the introduction is how you're going to start connecting with people. Okay. Give me a second here. My phone's like blowing up. I don't know why. All right, give me 1 second. Okay. All right, we're good. Stuff for the offer. Okay. Anyway, so breaking the ice with the people and an introduction. It's very simple. You see, it's a couple sentences. You got to understand, people are getting called by 20, 30, 40, 50 agents. Now, there's 300,000 agents out there. Only 20, 30, 40 of them calling them. So how many are doing their job? Right? Now think about that. So it's probably going to get a little bit worse in the near future because all these agents who are buyer's agents, guess what they're going to try to do? They're going to try to pivot to being listing agents, right? So who do you think they're going to be calling too? Right? It's going to get real goofy. So if you just got 4 phone calls from 4 idiots, when are you going to hire the right agent? How comes your home didn't sell? because they use Mike Ferry scripts line by line. Because every trainer and all them do that. They just change up the words. You have to contact these people. You're gonna call them. They're like, "Are you a real estate agent?" Say, "Yeah." I hate them too. I deal with them every day. Imagine you just deal with them now. I got to deal with these people every day. That's what I tell them. They start laughing. Right? So, so the first thing you're going to do is say who you are and what's going on. So they'll answer the phone and I'll be like, "Hello, Leah. My name's Philip Simonetta. Obviously, we haven't met yet. Reason I'm calling is I'm trying to introduce myself to you and I just need a couple minutes of your time." And I usually shut up and I let them answer me.
Okay.
Because silence is okay. Well, first thing, you're Philip. Okay. You're calling to introduce yourself to me. Well, who are you? Right? Like, what do you think? "Hey, Leah, my name's Philip Simonetta. Obviously, we haven't met yet. I was just calling to introduce myself to you." Sometimes
Okay.
I'll say, it just depends on my mood. Sometimes I just need a couple minutes of your time and you'll thank me after this call. And I'll stop then. So, "Hey, Leah, my name's Philip Simonetta. Obviously, we haven't met yet." And I use tonality, right? So I'm reading it to you now, but "Hey, Leah, my name is Philip Simonetta. Obviously, we haven't met yet. The reason for my call is really important. I just need a moment of your time." And I stop.
Okay.
Or I'll say, and what would you do if you got a phone call like that?
I would say, okay, how can I help you?
Okay. As I said, my name is Philip. Okay. We own a licensed Florida real estate school, which educates people to obtain a real estate license. And we also teach agents currently who are wanting to become brokers. We certify them as well. We also own a real estate brokerage, which has been awarded top 5% of all brokerages in transactions production in the state of Florida. Okay. In addition, we operate throughout the state of Florida with our headquarters in Jacksonville, but we're licensed in Tennessee and North Carolina too. And I usually stop and I let them say something. Silence, they're going to say something. Say, "Okay, so first of all, what did I just do there?"
You introduced yourself, you gave me some background on who you are and what you do to qualify you. And you gave me space to, either hang up or listen.
Right. Now, if you want to sell your house, it's been on the market for 6 months, or it's been on a market for a year with 2 different agents, and you really want to sell your house and you got 15 other idiots calling you, asking you stupid questions. If you had a little bit of you that wanted to sell your house, it just came off the market midnight last night. How would you take that 3 sentences? How would you take that? Would you want to know more?
Well, you sound more knowledgeable than other people who ask me dumb questions.
Right. But I'm saying, if you want to sell your house and the agent lied to you, they tell you something, they didn't get no showings, whatever. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody called you and said what I just said to you.
I would want to know more.
And assholes are going to hang up. That's okay. But
Yeah.
you want the people that are educated. You want the people that are smart, the people that want to proceed and get something done. Right. So those 3 sentences in 15 seconds, you just did that. Now, so I'm going to do this one more time with you. Oh, hello, Leah. I'm sorry. Hello, my name's Phil. I don't ever ask for them. I don't say, "Is this Leah?" I don't say, "Is this," because that's everybody's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I tell them who I am. "Hello, my name's Philip Simonetta. Obviously, we haven't met yet. The reason I'm calling is to introduce myself. I just need a couple moments of your time. I promise you'll thank me after this call."
Yeah. You always catch me kind of dumbfounded. I'm waiting for the next thing.
No, I just shut up like that. I make them feel uncomfortable.
Okay, because I always get uncomfortable.
Right. Right. But everybody does that. Everybody does. But human nature is, okay, like, you don't want to be rude to people.
Like,
You wanna
okay,
go, okay, like even if they don't want to hear it, they're gonna say, okay, tell me more. They don't give a fuck, but they want to tell you more, right? You say
right,
that to people because you don't, you're uncomfortable, right?
right,
I'm not uncomfortable. I don't give a shit. I like when you feel that way.
okay,
Just kidding. Right? So you're gonna say something. Okay. Now you gotta put
okay.
yourself in their shoes though.
Yeah,
Think about you wanted to sell your house for 2 years here, and these
yeah.
idiots can't get it done.
Okay, start over.
Okay, so hello, my name's Philip Simonetta. Obviously, we haven't met yet. The reason for my call is really important. I just need a couple of moments of your time. I promise you'll thank me after this call's done.
Okay, thank you. Why?
Well, the reason is I want to introduce myself, tell you who I am and what I do. And I think I'll be able to help you for something you're working on.
Okay. You need to hurry up because
I get it. Me too. I'm busy. I'm running too. Listen, so let me tell you who I am. So we own a real estate brokerage and a real estate school. We actually are licensed by the Florida Real Estate Commission, and we teach people how to become real estate agents. And we also take current real estate agents and we teach them how to be brokers. In addition to that, we, like I said, we have a brokerage. So we're actually top 5% of transactions production, and we're licensed in Florida, North Carolina, and Tennessee.
Mhm.
Okay. Our headquarters is located in Jacksonville, but we work in Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Tampa, Naples, and Marco Island. Okay. So the reason I'm calling, I usually stop there. I don't say anything else right there. I usually let you say something to me after I tell you that.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'll stop there.
Okay, so why are you calling me though?
Well, see, look, you just asked me that question. Look at the next answer. See, I already know what you're going to say.
Okay.
Okay, there are a couple reasons I'm calling you. Okay. First, I noticed you had a property on the market for sale for a little while, and then it came off the market. The question
Mhm.
I have is I never saw it go on the market. Is this something you still want to sell?
Yeah.
Okay, good. See, well, you see, when an agent lists a property, they have two jobs. Most people don't understand this. The first job is that they have to sell you on the idea that they can sell your property for you, right? They have to
Mhm.
let you think, oh, this person can do it. The second job they have is that they have to sell it to other agents and brokers like me all around the world that your property is for sale. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, again, I didn't see your property go on the market. However, I saw it come off. Here's why I saw it come off. I have a service I use that tells me when a property comes off the market that didn't sell. And then I call people like you, introduce myself, and tell you who I am and what I can do for you. Now, see, I added that in. That's just like ad lib. You don't
Mhm.
have to do that. So let me explain what I do differently at Pure 21 Realty. Okay. When we list and sell property, it's a lot different than these other brokerages. Okay. These other brokerages do three things. Okay. I call them the three P's. Okay. They put the property on the MLS, they put a sign in the yard, and then they pray somebody comes and buys it. See, what we do different at Pure 21 Realty when we list a property is the following. First, we list the property in three different MLS platforms. This allows us to reach 100% of all the licensed agents in Florida. Secondly, we directly send your listing to every agent who over the last 90 days searched for a property like yours for their clients. We do this because they may still have a buyer looking for a property like yours. And if they did a search for one, we want to let them know it's there. Okay. So that's why we do that. So you're talking every agent who searched for houses like yours for their buyers, we send them your property saying, here's another one. Okay. Third, we advertise your listings in 140 countries in 18 different languages. The reason we do this is because there are many investors outside of the United States that buy properties to make them their investment properties. Also, there are many people immigrating to the United States and buying homes here. This is a critical market you need to be in front of. Finally, over the last 25 years, we built a client a client list, an email list of tens of thousands of people, which we have done business with. This is title companies, insurance companies, buyers, sellers, investors. And then we send your listing to all of them in case they or someone they know would be interested in purchasing your property. So that's who I am, what we do, and how we work. So I want to make an offer to you. It doesn't cost you anything and you're not obligated to anything. What I'd like to do, with your permission, is create a full property report for you. The report will be about 60 or 70 pages. The report we are creating is the same report we use when investing in our own real estate deals. We will go over the entire MLS history of your property, since it was deeded or in the MLS. It will document all property that's sold on the market, similar to yours. It'll go over all the current properties for sale on the market. It'll go over all the properties currently under contract. And finally, it'll go over all the properties that were on the market and did not sell that are experiencing the same problems you are. All of this information is key. So we know what people are asking for their properties, what people are getting for the properties, and most of all, we can see what is overpriced or problem properties that aren't selling on the market. So what is your email address so I can send that report to you? And I let them give me their email address. Or they'll ask me questions and I'll go back and forth, right?
Right.
Okay, so you give me your email address. Great. Once you get the report, I'd like to create a 20-minute Zoom meeting with you, myself, and my broker and partner, Philip Simonetta. Okay, the Zoom call allows us to review all the details, understand the full situation that you're going through, and create a strategy to sell your property. Okay, and then they're going to talk to you. Okay, great. At this point, we can review the next steps that will need to be taken in order to get your property sold as fast as possible and get you the most money for it. Keep in mind, this is all complimentary and there is no cost or commitment on your part. After we review the property report on our Zoom call, we can decide if we like to work together or simply part as friends. Whichever way we choose, you will know who we are and that we are here for you now or if you need us in the future. Okay, what I'll do now is I'll create the property report for you and email it to you. Keep an eye on your email. It should be there within an hour. I just want to verify your email and you repeat it to them. Okay, now I'll check our calendar and we can set up that 20-minute Zoom call for us. And then you look at my calendar. Okay, I have an appointment at 4 o'clock today or 3 p.m. tomorrow. Which one works for you? They may say, well, you know what? Let me look at the report first. We'll do the, okay, that's fine. I'll send you the report. We'll call you after and we'll set it up then. But a lot of people will set it up right away with you. Right? And then after that, great. Okay. Well, I have one last question for you. Is there anyone else, like a spouse or a business partner, involved in the transaction that you would like me to add to the Zoom call or send the report to? Oh yeah, you can send it to my husband. He's not here right now, but let me give you his email address too. So I'll put his email address and that in the report and everything, right? And we'll add them to the meeting. Okay, great. And then the features we have. Okay, so if you need to talk about us, like as they're going on, well, what makes you different? Or now there's objections too. I have a whole list of objections that you might get to answer back. That's separate. This is just the talking points. This is what you need to know, line by line by line by line by line, to get them on Zoom. Now, when they say certain things to you, you may have to rebut something and then go back to this. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Like if you're here, they may say something. I have a whole list of answers for the questions that they may say, which we're going to go over next. But number one is you got to know this before we even worry about that. Right? So some of the things that we use in the conversation, we're family owned and operated. It's owned by a father and a son. It's a family operated business, which is unlike most people. We have the brokers in the school, 25 years experience, Florida, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Okay, we've built property, we buy it, we rent it. I do commercial, industrial. I develop property. I sell property. I rebuild it. I flip it. We're in those 3 MLS platforms, Beaches, Stellar, and Real MLS. We advertise in 140 countries in 18 different languages. Our entire team of people are working for you. You're always their point of contact, but they can reach me anytime they need to, right? Because we're partners. Weekly Friday calls. I call like I just got off Friday. I called all the people I'm dealing with. I give them a call every Friday to let them know if there was no showings, if there were showings, I don't let people hang. Like the lady I just called Friday, nothing happened. We had one phone call. We're priced below market and we're given $10,000 credit. And we're still not getting anything. I called her up and said, look, I had one phone call, one showing, nothing happened. And I had that conversation with her. No matter how hard it is to have, you have to have it. You can't just let it linger. You got to have that conversation because they appreciate it. She said, you know what? She told me, she's like, I understand that things changed. The market's what it is. I really appreciate you calling me and explaining to me what's going on. That's what she told me. Because if I didn't call her and I wait till next week, what's that look like? I don't care. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just being honest. Here's the facts. Here's what's happening. There's nothing else we can do right now, but wait. We can't lower the price anymore. Let's just wait. We got to wait. I mean, it's not like a house is going to sell in the first 10 days anymore. It might take 2-3 months. That's why we do a 6-month contract, right? People got, last 5 years, 10 years, houses sell pretty quick. It's not happening like that anymore. It takes time now. There's less buyers. And I always tell them, here's our brokerage website and here's our school website, right? Send them to the main website for the brokerage and the school website, right? And that's how I do that. Those 22 lines is how I make every dollar I make.
Okay. But what do you say to the wise seller or client that knows about the real estate issues, the market issues right now? Well, are you going to be able to sell my property even though there's not really any buyer agents to attract, or
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, well, here's what I can promise you. We've been doing this for 25 years. We're ranked top 5% of all brokerages and transactions. If anybody could do it, we can. And here's why. Again, I advertise internationally. We close 2/3 of our own deals. We bring the buyer. We actually search for the buyer for your property. We don't just put it on the market and hope they come. We're doing extra marketing. I can't promise you I'm going to sell your house. I'm going to do the best I can. You know why? Because the way I get paid is by selling your house. I don't get paid if I don't. So what do you think? I'm here collecting listings? No, I want to sell your house.
Okay, so you said that you send an email or something to the agents that have been looking for a property like this.
I reverse search it through the MLS. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're not going to have that pool of agents that are looking for properties like this one because
no, but you're still going to have searches being done on the MLS, and that's who you're sending them to. Whoever's doing the searches is getting sent to the P. Okay, so if I search for properties for somebody and send them to them, and then we put their property on, when I search and reverse search it, if that agent sent properties to a client 90 days, 85 days ago, it goes back 90 days. If I go and I send it to the agent gets it, and every client that they did a search for that would have gotten it gets it. It does it simultaneously. So not only the agents get it, let's say they did 25 searches and this house would have came up in 20 of them. All 20 of those searches, if they're still active, will get an email saying, hey, this house just went on the market.
The actual client.
The actual client, the agent too. The agent gets it too. And then anybody who they did a search for, or if they went online and they under their search database, and if it's in their search database, any agent search database, and that comes up. If you do a search for somebody like Crystal, remember you did a search for Amber and them? Anytime a house came on the market, they would get it. Well, if we come on the market and they were in that search for 90 days, they would have gotten our house. Does that make sense?
Because you list their email address.
No, because it fits into the criteria of what those people were searching for, and I do a reverse search. It's called a reverse search. You have to do it. It doesn't do it automatically. You have to go into the MLS and do it. I do it as a broker.
Okay.
Any listing we get, I reverse search it to all the agents. It's not an agent thing, it's a broker ability.
Okay.
It's like my MLS is different than yours. I have different options on mine than you do as a broker. Like I can log into yours. Like if I want to go into your MLS right now as you, I can as your broker.
Right.
Right. So I go in and I take the listings and then I refer search it to all the brokers. And then it goes down to their agents and to their property searches. Most people don't know you can do that. It's crazy.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So you're still going to have a pool of buyer's agents. There's just a lot of them aren't going to be around. A buyer agent is still going to be able to get paid, just not from the seller, not in the MLS. Okay. The problem is it's not about the buyer agent not getting paid. A lot of it has to do with that. Here's the second problem for these buyer's agents. Okay, if I'm a listing agent, I say, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, I'm charging you 3%. They're happy, right? They're paying me 3% no matter what. Smart people that want to buy a house are going to look at 5 listings and are going to call me as the listing agent and the other 4 listing agents and go see the houses. So let's say 2 people come and look at the house with me. And I say, okay, Mr. Buyer, you want to buy the house. You're going to make an offer. Okay, I'll type up the offer. I have the option to charge the buyer nothing or 1%, say. Let's say I charge them 1%. The buyer says, no, Phil, I can't pay you 1%. So I can go to the seller and say, seller, I have a buyer that wants to buy your property, but they won't pay me. I have to represent them and do all their paperwork and everything. I need to charge you 1% to represent them because they won't pay me. The seller says, okay, Phil, I'll pay you an extra percent. I do an agreement with them. I get an extra percent. I represent the buyer. Or the buyer says, okay, Phil, I'll pay you 1%. I do an agreement with them. I represent them.
Okay.
So now I'll make it 4%. Now, if the seller says no and the buyer says no, I can say, you know what? I'll do the deal. I won't charge the buyer. I'll still make my 3%. Okay, let's say that's one offer.
Yeah.
Let's say a buyer agent comes and they have a buyer for the property. Same price, same everything. But the buyer agent says, the buyer won't pay me, seller. I need you to pay me 2%. Whose deal do you think the buyer seller is going to take?
The 1%.
The 1% or the 0%?
Oh, I thought you said it was 2%.
No, the buyer agent is asking the seller for 2%.
Yep.
But with me, they can either pay 1% or nothing.
Right. Okay.
What offer do you think they're going to take?
0.
Okay, so how the buyer agent is only up against getting the buyer to pay them, which is not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, but what if they already signed that buyer broker agreement?
Say it again.
What if they already signed that buyer broker agreement?
That they're going to pay the buyer broker?
They have to have the agreement in July before they're showing any properties, right?
They will, but I'm
Yeah.
telling you what's going to happen. If you were buying a house, like if you wanted to buy a house and you had an agent that's going to tell you you need to sign a buyer broker agreement to pay them 2%, would you sign that or would you go deal with listing agents?
I would probably go shop around first, see what I could find.
Right. And then you're
Even
going to
with
find
the
a listing
listing
agent
agent.
and you're going to find a house and you're going to pay 1% or nothing. That buyer broker got no chance.
Right.
Yeah, so legally on paper, it looks like they're okay. They can still do business. But I'm telling you, anybody with common, now in the beginning, they probably will get robbed. They'll probably pay too much. But once people catch on that they can go do this and pay 0 or 1% instead of paying 2 or 3, I'm telling you, it's like, that's the problem. Not that they're not good people, not that they don't work hard, not that they don't do a good job. It's that there's nobody to pay them anymore. And that's that's what the whole pay thing was to protect, you know?
Okay, I have a question. Okay, so we're the listing agent or whatever. So we are we able to tell the seller, hey, if we advertise this property with a buyer broker agreement or percentage, we'll get more buyers because they'll have better representation as opposed to just waiting
Absolutely.
for
You
someone to
just wait.
come.
You just wait till you see me on that Zoom call because I already gonna lay that shit down.
Right.
And I'm even gonna prepare them. I'm gonna say, look, I'm gonna charge you 3%. I'm gonna tell them, look, I'm gonna charge you 3%. However, if a buyer comes and the buyer is refusing to pay me, I may have to charge you 1 more percent to handle their paperwork. I'm still charging you less than the 6% that people used to charge.
Mhm.
Still saving 2%. Right? So, seller, instead of charging you 6%, I'm going to charge you 3%. If a buyer comes and is not able to financially pay me 1% to represent them, I'm going to have to charge you the 1% extra. However, I'm going to try to get them to pay the 1%. And if they pay it, you don't have to pay it.
Right.
I'm going to lay it out like that for them. Most
Okay.
people are going to agree to that. I'm going to close that.
Mhm.
Now, if they refuse to do that, I'm not going to lose the listing. I'll say, okay,
Right.
I'm going to charge you 3%. And if I can't get the buyer to pay me, I'm going to go ahead and not charge them anything. If I want that listing, I'm not going to
Right.
throw away 3% to make an extra 1%.
Right.
But I bet you I can close at 95% of the times.
That was gonna be my thing. I was like, how many people are gonna be throwing off? Like, wait, what?
Right. But I'm going to say, I'm going to try to get the buyer to pay. But let's say they're a first-time home buyer, young couple. They don't have the extra money. You want to lose the deal over that? No. Well, I don't either.
Mm.
And I'll push them hard. Say, okay. If they won't say okay at the end, I'll say, listen, I don't want to lose your business. I'll eat the 1%. If I bring a buyer, I just won't charge you. And I'll just make 3%. I'm happy. That's the last ditch effort. I'm not going to go out saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I make 4% on my deals now. I charge 6, I make 4, I give 2. And then if I sell the whole deal, I keep 5. I discount at 1. I'm not discounting anymore. I'm just going to say 3 or 4. That's it. Right? My pitch changed to the people. I don't want you to be so concerned about that. I'm going to handle that for you in the beginning. You're going to see me do it.
Okay.
The only concern you have is getting them on that Zoom call.
Okay.
And you're going to learn the rest of it as we do it. Because I don't want to confuse you and give you too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. Right? So I already got that down. Now, here's the other thing. If I'm representing the seller and the buyer comes, I'm going to try to get 2% out of the buyer. I'm going to try to make 5%.
Right.
If I can get 3, I'll get 3. I'm going to get every damn penny I can. Right? If they're going to pay it, I'll take it. Right? That's our job. Our job is to make money and do business and make people happy. Hey, happy is whatever they are. If they want to pay 3% happy, great. If they want to pay 2%, if they want to pay 1%, right? Whatever makes them happy, I'm happy too. So that's what does that make sense? Does that help you understand?
Yeah.
That's what buyer agents are up against. Not only the task of, if you can sell it to the buyer to pay you 1, 2, 3% and they sign it, you're golden. Go show them houses. However, I don't think you're going to be able to do that because they're going to know that they can go and pay 0 to 1%. That's just a matter of time. It's already in the news. They're already talking about it publicly. So they're going to know that before July, I'm telling you. So I'm telling you, I can sell, and I can't convince somebody to pay me 2% when they can go do it for free.
I was about to say, and you're just gonna stick with the idea that you're gonna try to bring the buyer in without the agent instead of telling them, hey, like if we pay for the buyer, if we also pay the buyer's agent, they'll bring in more people.
Right.
You're not
I
gonna
was
go
thinking
that way.
No, listen, the buyer agents don't bring people. Zillow does. It's not 20 years ago. You know that, right?
I don't know. It's just whenever I see all these things, like, because I see the conversations on Facebook and people are, so it makes me it makes me have those questions too of how it would work.
Yeah, buyers agents do a search and they send it to the people. Most of the people find their search on Zillow or Realtor.com. They don't even find it on the search
they have
you
all
do.
kinds of apps that they use that
Right.
get them
They
their
see the
buyers.
same
Yeah.
houses that you send them. So the buyer agent doesn't find the house for them. Just like that kid said in the video last night. The buyer agent does one thing, they get the deal. They negotiate the deal. They get the paperwork done. They make sure it closes.
Mhm.
Finding the house isn't the buyer agent anymore. Just type in a zip code. Look, I want to buy a house. Give me a zip code. What's the zip code on the beach?
So 32208. That could be
No,
completely
I want to buy a
wrong.
house in 32208. There's every house in 32208 for sale. Right there.
That was not the beach.
Well, I'm saying that's every house there. Okay,
Yeah.
I only want to buy a house in this road, in this section. There's every house for sale. Every house for sale. I want to buy this house. Let me click on this.
Yeah, but I also
I like
know, I
this
mean,
house.
don't get me wrong,
Cool.
Amber sent me a lot of stuff, but it was easy to just be able to circle an area in the MLS compared to, the others, but
But listen, Crystal, I just did that right here.
on Zillow, yeah, okay, yeah,
I just did that. There's the area right there.
yeah,
Whatever you
Okay.
want. I want this house right here. Okay, I look through here. I want this house. Okay. I can go work with Crystal and pay her 2%, or I can click on this right here. I get a listing agent's phone number, call him right now for free. Right there. Joseph, here you are. I can call him for free right now. Am I gonna pay you? Am I gonna pay you $8 grand, or am I gonna call him for free?
right,
I don't care what they're saying online. Half these people don't know what they're talking about.
okay.
I'm telling you, I've been doing this all my life. There's no way you're going to get somebody to pay you 8-10 grand to buy this house and not just call Joe Chong.
Yeah, no, I get that. I absolutely get that.
You know?
I'm just asking questions based on,
Yeah.
how we might have to handle it for, somebody calling us or when we're talking to the
Yep.
seller.
And if I had this listing, Jenny calls me. Hey, Phil, I see your listing on here. Great. Wonderful. Jenny, would you like to see it? Okay, great. Before I show it to you, I got to do a buyer broker agreement with you because that's the law now. Okay. And I want you to know I charge 1% to represent you to buy this house. And that's what I tell them. If they say, no, I don't want to
So
pay you.
even if it's your listing, if you show
charge
it,
it,
they
yeah.
have to do the buyer broker, or you're just making them
Yes.
do that?
If you're representing the buyer anyway, you must have a buyer broker agreement. That's going to be the law.
So if I'm going to show it to you, I need that commitment.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And that's how you lock in the fee from them. You say, okay, Jenny, wonderful. Okay, as you know, the law has changed. I have to have a buyer broker agreement with you. I'm going to send you my buyer broker agreement. Our fee is 1% to represent the buyer. Well, I don't want to pay that. Well, Jenny, everybody else charges you 2 or 3. I'm going to charge you less because I have to represent you, do the paperwork, do all the work for this, and I have to take legal liability representing you. I can't do it for free, Jenny. Nobody can. And they're going to charge you 2 or 3%. So I'm actually charging you less. Oh, Jenny, 1%. 1%. Okay, Jenny, is $3,820. How about if I just charge you $3,000? Is that okay? What do I care? It's all free money for me because I already get 3% from the seller. Do you see?
So it's poor
Okay.
first-time home buyers.
Okay,
No,
but
it's
wait a minute.
anybody. It's not anybody. I'm actually doing her
I
a
know.
favor because she's going to pay $7,200 to somebody else.
Yeah, okay, but wait. If they're if they say no, I don't want to pay that, but you're the listing agent, right? You're gonna say, okay, well, I'll just do it as a transaction broker and don't charge her anything.
Not if I don't. Yeah, I could. I could if I want to, but I don't want to. I
Okay.
could. But I want to get as much as I can.
Yeah, but instead of losing the 3%,
Well, no,
you're the
also,
listing
listen,
agent.
no matter who buys it, I'm going to get 3%.
Right. Okay.
If he buys it or somebody else,
Okay.
right? I'm getting 3% no matter what from the seller. The
Okay.
first thing I would do is if Jenny can't afford the $3 grand, I would go to the buyer and say, listen, I have a buyer, okay, but they can't afford to pay the 1% fee to buy it. And they can't afford to pay another agent 2%. They can't afford to buy it. However, if you pay $3 grand, I'll represent them. You give me an extra $3 grand, I'll sell the house for you. It's going to cost you $3 grand more, but you're still paying, $7 grand less than you would have. Because I can't work free for them. Now,
Right.
At the end of the day, if I can't get the buyer to pay it, can't get the seller to pay it, I could come in and say, listen, I like to sell the house. Let me just do it. I'll do 3% and I'll get it done. But you don't do that until the deal's going to fall apart.
Right.
It's the last thing you do.
Okay.
Right? because you want to make as much as you can on a deal. You
Got
just
it.
don't tell anybody that. You get to the point where you make as much as you can on a deal.
Okay.
That's what you're in business. This is capitalism,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're getting 3% no matter what. If Jamie down the street buys it or Johnny over there buys it, it doesn't matter. You're
'Cause
getting
you're the
3%
listing. Yeah,
no matter what,
it's clicking.
right? So if I can make more by selling it to this lady and getting an extra percent, or getting a seller say, seller, listen, we've been on the market 3-4 months. I finally found a buyer, but they can't afford it. They can't afford all the fees. So are you willing to pay 1% more and I can get the deal done? Yeah, Phil, I'll do it. I adjust it. They give me 4%. I do a buyer broker agreement for $0 to the buyer because I still have to have it to do the deal.
Okay.
That's the law. You do it. If you show a property without a buyer broker agreement and they file a complaint, your license is gone.
Oh,
They're
wow.
going to take it and they're going to make an example of the first one that does it.
Okay.
Okay, your license is gone. You violated the law by
Before you-
showing the property without a buyer's agreement.
Okay.
Yep, that's what's going to happen if this goes through the way it's written. If they accept it, the court, which is probably going to happen. There's going to be some changes, but it's going to happen. You cannot open a door without a buyer broker agreement. Now, that's going to eliminate half the realtors because half of them can't get an agreement signed. They don't have the know-how. They don't have the desire to, right? Half these agents go around in flip-flops and shorts and go show houses. So you think they're going to get buyer's agreements? It's eliminating a lot of people. This is the challenge. And I know a lot of people are saying different things, but you guys know me, right? I'm right to the point. I know how things work. I haven't been wrong. I've been in this business all my life. I'm telling you, it's going this way. There's no way about it. Listing is going to be the only way to stay in this business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you. And people have to pivot and do it. There's still going to be some buyer brokers. There's still going to be people that have been in the business 20 years that know what they're doing. And they can get people to pay them, maybe. But even if they get them, Crystal, if you get an agreement, and they're willing to pay you 2%, great. You make the offer, the offers come in, the offers are presented. Your offer goes up against everybody else's. You're good. The problem is if you can't get them to pay you and they're going to ask the seller to pay, that's going to happen 90% of the times. And the seller is going to have offers where they don't have to pay anything. So an offer comes in where they have to pay nothing, an offer comes in where they have to pay the agent. What do you think they're going to accept?
The one that
Oh,
they
they
don't
don't
have to pay anything.
Right. And that's going to be the next challenge. So even if say 50% of the buyers agree to pay 2%. Okay. That means 50% of the buyer agents are out of business. Right? Because you don't need 50% of them. That's that. Now, I'm telling you, maybe 10% of the people will pay the buyer's agents because once they realize that I can call George or whatever his name is here, right here, Joe Chong, I can call him right now. Here's his phone number and pay nothing or 1%. Why would I pay anybody else anything else? That's what every buyer on earth is going to do when the time comes. It's a lot of money. I mean, you buy a $380,000 house. Your closing costs are about 27 grand. Just your down, your 5% down, all your insurance, your taxes, your deed stamps, everything. About 27 grand. Your bank fees, your title company, everything. 27 grand. Now you want another 2%. That 27 grand just went to 34.5 for them to close. People don't have the money. Average people don't have the money. So that's the reality of it. That's where it's going. And I know a lot of people are talking and stuff, but I'm telling you, man, when it comes down to the facts of the matter, that's right there. Right there it is. I didn't know who this guy was. Look, we could pick another house. Look how fast I can find a guy for you. Here's one, 750. Look. 750. There it is. Boom. Okay, wow. I want to go look at this house. Here, Jonathan Phillips, 904-241-2734. I'm gonna pay an agent 15 grand to show that to me? Or am I gonna call Jonathan and pay nothing? Or maybe 7 grand. You see?
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. You don't need me to send you a search of properties. Right there it is. I could send you a search. We sent Amber a search. She still went on Zillow and picked out houses, right?
Sure did.
Yep. That's exactly what you're going to deal with. They don't care about your search. You know? Even though it's more accurate. I mean, there's everything. Let's say, oh, I want to go over here. I want to go over here now. Let's go over here. I don't even know where the hell I'm at. Here, Atlantic Beach. Let's go in here. What's for sale over here? I'll add the zip code. Hold on. Let me tell you. There. Okay, here's one, 8.25 million. I like this house. I want to buy it. Boom, boom, boom. Here, Jan Shields. There's a number. I'm a buyer. I'm gonna pay an agent $240,000 to show that to me, or I'm gonna go to her for free.
Right.
That says $49,665
That's your mortgage.
a damn month.
Yeah, that's without your taxes. That's just
Get
with
pre-qualified though.
that's your principal and interest.
Make sure you get pre-qualified.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we don't show properties if they haven't been pre-qualified.
So look at this. You could rent this for 36 grand a month. However, it's going to cost you
Right.
49 to buy it. That has to come down. It can't stay at that price. It won't work. The house is probably worth 6 million, 6.5. Honestly, just looking at those numbers, 6.5 is what that's worth. I don't even need to look at it. That's the numbers of it. You know, it's just, it doesn't make sense. I mean, look at the value. This is what the house was worth. And all of a sudden it just went up $2 million, like in a year. Get out of here, man.
Right.
Out of here.
Not even a year. Like,
Yeah. And what I say, 6.5. Right there you are, 6.5. That's what it was worth. It's what it's 6.5. You know, it's crazy, man. Look at the tax assessment. 1.4, $23,000 a year for taxes. On top of that, $45,000 a month you're paying. Crazy.
That's
$5
crazy.
grand a month for taxes. It's actually more. And
That's
insurance is $28.88 a month for insurance. But that's, you see what I'm trying to say to you guys? Like, do you see why buyers wouldn't deal with an agent now?
Right.
Here's 600 grand. Here's one 600 grand. I'll take this, open it up. There, there's the buyer's agent right there. Michael Thomas. Just give him a call. That's how easy. I feel bad for them. I really do. And I wish I could get through to them and say, listen, you got to pivot. Let me show you how. I'll teach you.
No, don't teach them that, because then it'll be flooded with more listing agents.
No, listen, they're coming no matter, listen, they're going to try to be listing agents no matter what, or they're going to get into a different business.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be houses still done and sold. Still going to work. I mean, there's so much business going to be out there for everybody. There's no competition. Here's the thing. Houses come off the market. Whoever calls them and convince them to work with them, they work with. That's what I'm showing you. So, you know, today, let's just look. Let me look real quick. Hold on. Let's see what came off the market today. Okay. So every agent on earth that pays for this service can get this. Okay. So expired today. So these houses all came off the market today. Let's see what we got here. I know. Expired.
So why do you recommend that we call 3 weeks later as opposed to, because it won't it be taken by then?
I call all the new ones and then I go back. Because I go back. What were you saying about 3 weeks? What were you saying about that? When did I say it? What did I say?
Yeah, no, I think, you know, in our previous training when you were recommending
I
when to
call
call.
Yeah, I call a year ago sometimes if there's no new ones. Because no one's calling them anymore. Those people wanted to sell their house
Yeah.
and nobody, like, if they never sold it, no one's calling them. Right?
Now,
So if you,
will it be removed from this website if it
no,
does end up
we
selling?
no. Oh yeah, yeah, if it goes back on the market, it comes off of here. It'll say
Okay.
relisted.
So,
It'll say
so
relisted.
whoever you're calling, it's accurate that it's still off the market.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
correct. I'm trying
I
to
think that's what
find-
his main question was, is, wouldn't it already be sold by then, 3 weeks later, back on the
Right.
market, but
So
you said
if you
it
if
gets
you just want
removed.
to go, let me show you. If you just want to go today, right? So you come here and you go March 24, 18th to 19th. Okay. And we want expired and canceled. We don't want withdrawn. We want expired and canceled. Okay. And we're going to apply that filter. It's going to break it down. Okay. And it starts with the newest ones. And it's all three MLSs in here. Here's one 1.9. See, they changed this on us. They changed the layout in here. Hold on. See, red or do
Yeah,
not
you
call.
used to be able to do it by city.
Yeah, you can. You still can. You have to go over here and you have to go into the filters. See the filters here?
Got it.
And you have to put what you want down here. You can go any MLS if you just want. See, you have all three MLSs in here. If you just want
Mhm.
NEFAR, if you just want Stellar, or if you just want Fort Lauderdale, Miami, down south, or you hit all of them. That's all of them, right?
Okay.
All right, and then you go here and you get everything from one day to the next. Or you can go back. Let's say you want from last year, February 19th to last year, February 20th. I'm just making dates up. And it'll give you those. Anything that didn't sell. Right? Apply the filter. And there they are. That's from back then. They're 219 to 220. This one's off the market, XC. Let me see. All these didn't sell. Look, 219.24. A lot of do not calls there. Right? But here,
And there's a lot of do not calls.
there's a lot on that one. There's emails over here. So you can go through here, fire canceled, and let's say we just want from yesterday, 18th to the 19th. Apply. And here they are, newest to oldest, right? Doesn't give me a total number on here anymore though. Why is that? Hold on. And here we go. And you can put the notes, everything is simplified here the way they did it. Here's 13.9 million. Right? Here's one. 568,000. Let me sort it by price. Sort by price, high to low. Okay, here's one, $60 million. There's a number to call. Right? You come in here, it's Vero Beach, A1A. Okay, here's a number here. That's probably a work number, it's an 800 number.
Right.
It was canceled. They canceled the listing for some reason. Right? You come here, it's going to show you the property. Here it is. Let's go to the. So it's, I don't know why $60 million is the whole complex. Maybe it's the whole complex.
Mm.
It must be the whole thing. I mean, it's not 60 million for one of them. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, there's something there, right? It's all
Mhm.
coming from here. And you know that's who you can call and talk to them.
Okay.
Right? You come back and then it's just one by one by one. Right? There's another one. For sale by owners. You know, it lists all the for sale by owners. Pre-foreclosure, anything that's going into foreclosure. These all got list pendants and sent to them. All the information's here. Here's the property. Here's the people, right? Property. They got their list pendants. It'll tell you when here.
So if it's in pre-foreclosure, they've already gotten their list pendants?
No, a list pendants is the kickoff of the foreclosure.
Right.
Once it's filed in court, you actually call that. If you call them the same day, they didn't even get served yet. So
Right. Oh, I see. So, but the list pendants is issued at the pre-foreclosure rate, or basically if a list pendants has been issued, means they're basically in foreclosure, but they just haven't gotten the notice yet.
right. Well, no, the list pendants, is the notification of foreclosure.
Right, okay,
So
but
when it
then on
gets
the
filed,
pre-foreclosure
when it
list
gets filed
here,
in the court, when it gets filed in the court today, they don't get served till tomorrow or the day after.
right, but it's showing up here on the pre-foreclosure because they just haven't received notice yet.
No, it shows up when the court orders it. They may have gotten it, we don't know. But the
Okay.
second that the court orders it, if the court orders it today at midnight tonight, we know about it.
I think you're just confused because the tab literally says pre-foreclosure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what they call it. They call it pre-foreclosure. I don't know why.
But if they've received list pendants, technically they're in foreclosure already. right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want to clarify.
I don't know why it says pre. I don't know.
Got it.
Maybe
Yeah,
'cause
but
it's
why are you
pre-auction.
calling them?
Because if they're going to foreclosure, we can do a short sale and get them out of foreclosure and sell it.
Okay.
Yeah, or we can go in and buy it and get them out of it.
Okay.
Right. There's a lot of things you can do. It depends if you have equity. You know.
Yeah. Okay, but when I see the pre-foreclosure list, some of them say price 0.
That's no. Where you see that here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Price 0.
Yeah, that's because it hasn't been set an auction date yet.
Okay.
Here, this one, notice of sale has an auction date.
Okay. But they have up until that date to redeem it.
Oh yeah, they have up into the auction to do the redeem it, right, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. But if you can call them and you can do something with them and get involved. You can do a short sale and then they won't foreclose on it if you got it listed as a short sale.
Mm-hmm.
If there's equity, if they could sell it, if the bank will accept it. You know, so you list pendants is here. Like these all have 0 because they haven't been scheduled yet. See,
Okay.
it just depends on where they're at in the process. Right. See, I guess it goes all the way back. Even though you're sorting it, there's 925 of them. There can't be 9. You know what? There is. So in the 3 MLSs, 925 properties came off the market today.
Okay.
Just in one day, there's 927 people to call. In one day. That shows you. That number used to be 200, 300 in a day. It just shows you deals aren't closing. Things aren't happening right now. That's actually good for us to list property. In markets like we're in now, just because you list it don't mean you're going to sell it. I can promise that. But so there's 927 today. Right? So let's go back yesterday.
I mean, with the percentages people are getting these loans at and the prices are skyrocketing, buyers are like, I'm a wait.
Now, from the 16th to the 17th, there was only 340 that day. But let's look at this week. How many in this week went? So let's just say from Tuesday last week to Tuesday this week. Right? Let's see how many houses came off. 2,315 came off the market. So this week alone, there was 2,315 people to call. If you can get 2% of them to list with you,
Makes me wonder, like, what happened between
that would
yesterday
be
and today that
46
900
listings.
of them came off.
It depends on what the day was last year. It could have been a Sunday, it could have been a Monday, it could have been, you know. So if you can get 2% of those, you would get 46 listings. If you got 2% of those people. I'm just saying, like, that's, you know, numbers. If you get one listing a week, guys, one listing a week is 52 deals a year. Average deals 350,000. Okay, 350,000. Average deal 350. Average commission 3% for half the deal is 10.5. Once you're on your own, 80-20 split, you're making 8,400 a deal average, minus your transaction fee, right? You're making $8,000 and $8,005. If you get one a week, you get 52 of those a year.
Yeah, but wouldn't we normally charge the transaction fee?
Yeah, you could charge it to the client, but I'm just saying if you didn't charge it to the client and just
Yeah.
ate it, I'm just saying if you would make $416,000 a year if you did one deal a month. One deal, let's say a week. One deal a week. You got one listing a week, you'd make 416 grand. That's just numbers. There's nothing to it. That's the numbers. So you might make more, you might make less, but that's average at 80%. So that's the reality of what this business is. It's just you got to prospect. I mean, the numbers are here. Here's the people you got to call. You know, this is what we got to do. You just talk to them. There's no emotion involved. Here's what we do. Here's how it goes. Here's what it is. Screw you too. Click next. You just got to do that to get the people. I do it. I mean, that's what you got to do. And that's the gist of this business. And it's any sales business, anything. I got a kid trying to sell me food from a company called Performance. I'm going to buy stuff from him because the kid don't give up. He just sent me a message on Facebook. Hey, did you want to order anything for tomorrow? I don't need anything. But just because of the kid's hunger and the way he works, I'm going to buy shit from him. You know, I like the kid. I'm going to pay a little too much for stuff just to buy it from him. You know, that's just certain things. But that's what I'm trying to show you guys in 1 week, in the month so far. Let's look what happened in the month so far. The month of March, March 1st to today, to the 19th. 5,700 came off the market so far this month. The month of February, from February 1st to February 29th. Yep, did I hit 69.82? Look how much worse March is than February. We're only halfway through. You see that difference? We're gonna kill February. Right there it is. It's just the numbers, man. So
And
what I
when
want you
we
guys
go
to do,
in-
go ahead, I'm sorry.
When we go in Land Voice, you said it's going to show all 3 MLSs for us.
It's going to look the same. I just logged into your log. This is your log. This is the login for the agents. This is the
Okay.
agents login here. This is what it's going to look like. Yep. Now, what we're going to do once we get through this training part here, I'm going to do this with you. I'm going to call people as we're going. I'm going to show you how we do it, how we put notes in. We add a note, how we put a note in, who's working on it, how you keep numbers, how you keep track of everything. I'm going to do this with you guys, and you're going to watch me do it to show you how to do it. I'm going to physically go through the process. Showing you how, and that way you know, because there's notes in here. Crystal talked to this guy. She's calling her back tomorrow. Obviously, you're not going to call this person because Crystal's talking to them, right? You go to the next one. You go to, like, everybody has, once you have a note in here, it dates it and times it and everything. Now, if there's a note in there that Crystal talked to somebody more than 48 hours ago and hasn't called them back, then anybody can call. But if you call somebody and there's 48 hours within that time date, then no one else calls because they're dealing with them. If she stops dealing with them and 2 days gone by, somebody else call. Who cares? We want to get the deal, right? We want to get the deal no matter what, but you're not going to overstep each other. I mean, there's
Right.
6,000 calls to make. You don't have to call the same people, right? You know?
Right.
Now, if somebody doesn't call somebody for 48 hours, then it's open game because we don't want to let somebody fall through, right? I mean, that's just a given. But that's kind of how It works. And then you keep track of it. And then this is where you keep your numbers. Remember, I showed you how to keep the numbers on the chart. How many calls you made, how many people you talked to, how many reports you send. And we're going to get into that. Right now, my focus right now is know this. Because before you can know the rebuttals, you got to know this. Right? And then before you make the calls and worry about land voice and putting notes in, you got to know this, right? Like you can't just say, okay, go on land voice right now and do it. You're like, what? You got to know what you're going to say. You got to know how you answer people back. You got to know how to send a text, how to send the email, how to set the Zoom appointment up with me and them and you. There's steps to it. So step one is take this, get this down. Right? We're going to go back and forth on this tomorrow. Each one of us, one-on-one. I'll start with Leah. I'll start with Crystal, and we're going to go back and forth. You're going to read it to me as if I'm the customer. And I'm going to go back and forth with you. I'm not going to be too hard on you because I want you just to learn it now. I'm not going to try to fight you or confuse you. I want you to start teaching you the tonality, how to talk. You know, you're not going to say, hello, I'm looking for, hey, my name's Philip. I'm looking for, you got to, hello, my name is Philip Simonetta. Obviously, we haven't met yet. You know, the reason for my call, you're going to talk like that to people. You're going to slow down. You're going to say certain emphasis on certain words. It's all about tonality and how to talk to people, not just read something. So tomorrow, each one of you guys, we're going to go through this line by line by line. And I'm going to be the client. And you're going to get practice at it. And then what I'll do is I'll assign you guys together. And then you guys set time up and you work on it before the next practice. And we got Monday, we got tomorrow, we got Wednesday, right? So tomorrow we're going to go over this. And then between Wednesday and Monday next week, I want you guys to have this down cold. And then Monday next week, we're going to go over rebuttals. You get to this point, they're going to say this. Well, here's your answer for this. Here's your answer for that. Here's your answer for this. Here's your answer for that. And once you have this down and then you have all the answers down, they're only going to ask you the same questions. They're not going to ask you what your favorite food is. They're only going to say, well, I'm going to work with my own agent. Well, my sister's going to sell it for me. Well, I'm going to take it off the market. I'm going to sell it myself. They're only going to say certain things. And if you have the right conversation back to them, you move on to the next line. You move on to the next line. Right? That's all it is. And they don't even know you're guiding them through something. They think you're just having a conversation with them. These talking points hit every button that needs to be hit to make somebody say, yes, I want to deal with you. Why? How do I know that? Because I live it and I make every dollar I make because of it. That's how I know. No one can tell me this doesn't work because I'd be a poor man if it didn't. It only doesn't work if you don't use it right. It's like using a screwdriver for a hammer. It doesn't work. Right? Use a screwdriver as a screwdriver. Use a hammer as a hammer. Right? This works. Why? Because I make a lot of money from it. So it's to get them to the point. Now, there's more to it in this business. You don't just get them on a Zoom call because then you don't know what to do. But I promise you, get them on a Zoom call and you're going to learn that next. Right? There's no point to learn how to talk to the customer, to sell the contract, to sell the deal, if you can't talk to a customer. Right? That makes sense? This is a lot of information to teach you, and it's overwhelming. Imagine trying to learn everything. It's impossible. It was impossible for me when I was getting in this business. And you understand, I had nobody to teach me this stuff. And this is why so many people fail. Because no one systematically teaches them how to make a deal happen. They think it's just easy. It's not easy. You know, it's not easy. But it's a system. And if you learn each step and master it one by one, you can never go wrong. And this is what nobody teaches. Why? Because most of them don't know how to do it themselves. That's why nobody teaches this. I figured that out because I tried to find it. I tried to learn. I tried to find somebody to say, hey, Phil, I'll teach you. And everybody I talked to didn't know what they were doing. And I'm talking about producers. I know producers that make millions that hire people to write their contracts for them and pay them $3.95 a deal to do the transaction. I know people that do that, and I do everything because that's how I do business. I do it. I don't lay it out. And I just want you guys to know you do this, and then, you have to learn it all. And then if you want to lay parts of it out and pay people, you can pay a transaction coordinator to do your transactions. It comes out of the transaction, whatever it's just a little bit of money out of the transaction, but I'd rather do my own stuff. You remember, Crystal, when we made that one offer, there was another person we sent the offer to handle the paperwork. The guy handled it for the old lady. Remember the old lady? There was an older lady. Remember we had to send it. Remember we sent her the offer and she didn't get it, and we had to resend it again.
Yes.
She didn't know how to work a computer, but she sells $1 million homes all day long. She
Yeah,
had somebody else
exactly.
that handled all her paperwork that she paid them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. She didn't know how to do digital signatures. I'm like, what? But that's what's out there. That's the business. I'm trying to teach you everything, and it starts with this. Are you guys getting that? Like, you're on the same page? Okay. So work on this tonight, work on this tomorrow. We're going to go over this tomorrow. I want you guys to be a little, smooth with it. I want, like, it's what is it? 5 pages of information? And really it's only 4 pages because the 5th page is just facts about the brokerage. It's literally 22 lines, 22 statements is what it is. Right? Actually, it's a little more because I have 2 there, 3 there, so that's 5, and then 22. So it's 27. No, a little more. Hold on. 14, 17, 19, 14, 17, 19, and 20.
Is a lot.
Bill, what's the response to an objection of, like, not wanting to talk because getting too many calls?
Everybody says it. Everybody says that. I'm getting so many calls. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah. So how do you respond to that?
I just have listened. I said, I promise you, this call's not like anything else. 10 minutes of your time, and you'll thank me when I'm done. Just give me 10 minutes, please. I talk like them, just like that.
Okay.
I talk to them just like that. Some people won't do it. That's okay. I'll call them tomorrow again. But the point is, I'll get them to break down. I say, listen, I promise, not like them. Imagine I have to deal with those people every day. You just got to deal with them now. They usually start laughing. And then I just tell them, look, I own, I say I own, but you can say we own a school. We teach agents how to be agents. For the state of Florida. We help agents be brokers. We're top 5% of all brokerages. We're in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. Just give me 10 minutes, and I promise you, you're going to get more information from me than anybody else you spoke to in 10 minutes, and it doesn't cost you a penny. I talk to people like that. Sometimes they say shit. I hit the table. Listen. And they shut up and listen because that's human nature. I've done it. I don't know if anybody's been here when I've done that, but I said, yo, listen. They shut up. I go, I own a school. I own a brokerage. I'm top 5% of all brokerages, North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida. I go, do you want to give me 10 minutes of your time? Because if not, I'll go. I talk to them like that. And they stop. I go, do you want to listen for a second? I don't care. I don't give a shit. Come to my door, see what happens. I don't care. I don't care. I know what I'm bringing to the table. I have to be forceful sometimes to let them see it. And they thank me afterwards. They're like, holy shit, I'm glad I talked to you. I wish I would have known you before. I'm not saying be rude to people. I'm not saying don't swear at people. Don't do stupid shit. But you can be forceful with people. Sometimes people need that. It's just the way the world works, man. Listen, somebody try to call me, I'll hang up on you. I don't give a shit what you think. I don't care. I'm one of those people I would never be able to talk to me. I'm like that. And there's people in the world like that. You're never going to talk to them. Fuck them. You can't save the world, man. All you have to do is save one a week.
Yeah.
Save one motherfucker a week, right? One.
Right.
That's it. That's what it comes down to, guys. one a week. If you could put up with this shit and do one a week and make $500,000 a year, 400,000 a year. If you do one every other week and make 200,000 a year. You do one a week and make 100,000 a year, or one a month, you do 100,000 a year. It's just how much you want to make, how much you want to talk. Like once you get this down, like your favorite song, like Johnny Depp being the pirate, you just got to get this in. You got to want it. You got to want this. If you don't want it, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to bullshit you. You think I like talking to people about this shit? If I go to a bar and I'm having lunch, I'm eating or whatever, and I'm talking to people, I let them go. I let them talk. I let them say, oh yeah, well, what do you do for a living? Boom. Well, what do you do? Well, I'm in real estate. You know, I own a real estate school and brokerage. We teach people for the state. We certify them. We're top 5% in the country, whatever state, whatever you want to say. Right. I tell them, you know, what we do is when we sell property, we put it on 140 countries, 18 different languages. We put it on 3 different MLS systems. I buy.
What is that system, by the way? Like, how do we do that?
I do it. You can't do it because you're only in one MLS. I do it as the broker because I put the listing. I take the listing agreement and I put it in all 3 MLSs. And I put the listing in all
not
3.
that, but like if they ask, oh well, what countries? Like I don't know what platform we're on, like that.
Right here.
Across and
right here, man. Hold on.
And what languages? Because I had one when I went for the for a listing meeting. Like she's like, oh, I because I mentioned that I said, you know, we advertise all over the world in 180 countries, and she's like, oh, do you advertise in Poland? Because I'm from Poland.
I'll tell you right now.
And
hold on.
I didn't know the answer to that.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta find the thing. I have it here. It might be my old stuff. I have every country where every listing is advertised. Hold on. It gives you the country and what site it's on, like the United States, Zillow, this country, that.
So when we list a property, it goes to Zillow?
Yes, because anything that's listed under my brokerage, no matter who lists it, it connects through List Hub. And because I pay List Hub.
Right.
So it can be any agent under my brokerage. We put the listing in, it goes on List Hub. List Hub distributes it to the world. I pay List Hub.
Oh, I thought Zillow just pulled straight from the MLS.
Zillow does pull straight from the MLS. There's hold on, I'll show you right now.
Yeah.
Zillow pulls from the MLS. Trulia pulls from the MLS. There's like 38 sites that pulls from the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay to put it on other sites. So if you just get a listing and you put it in MLS, Zillow's going to pull it. The 38 sites, Redfin, Zillow, they're paying $140,000 a month to do that.
Right, but that's why we're not talking about them in our page.
No.
We're talking about the 140 countries,
right,
which are completely different. Right.
Correct. Because Zillow's that's only going here. That's only like people in China don't use Zillow. People in Poland don't use Zillow, right? I don't know if they have it there. I don't even know it's there. I don't know how it works. But those people don't read English. They don't do Zillow.
Right, that's an American company. Yeah.
Right. So when they go on their site, which let me get it. Hold on. Let me find it here.
Yeah, can we get a list of the countries and languages?
I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do it right now. Hold on.
Because then, you know,
I'm gonna print it out.
Then you lose, I guess
you have more
losing credibility to say, oh, which countries, and like I can't even name them.
Yeah. No. Hold on, I'll get it for you right now. I just gotta find it. It's in my second here.
You probably could Google it. What countries does
it's on List Hub? Yeah, there's a chart, and let me see if I can Google it quick without trying to find it. They used to have it here, but they changed their site. It used to be right here. List Hub, agent broker. Let me see. Hold on. See, I have List Hub for Orlando. I have List Hub for beaches. I have List Hub for up here. Let me see which one. Let me just go in Orlando right now. Let me see if I can pull it up. That's my List Hub for Orlando. That's Orlando Regional, right? Oh, I'm say publishers. So here, these are the publishers that it pulls from here. So this would be the sites that it pulls from in America. You see all these here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I set this up back in 2017. That's when I started paying them. Okay. Dates
Mhm.
like that. I started like back in 2017 paying them. And it goes on all these sites in America. See it?
When we list, it goes on all those sites.
Because you're my agent. If
Right.
you're underneath me in the MLS, it goes here.
Okay.
It has to, because my brokerage pays them. So anybody under my brokerage automatically gets this feature.
Okay.
And these ones
But
are just the American companies, right?
that's the American.
The
Now
American websites, yeah.
let me get to international. Hold on. Reporting. What is it doing now? Hold on. Let me log into the other one. I don't have anything in there right now. Let me do beaches real quick. Okay, here we go. Same thing for beaches. There's all the ones for beaches, right? This one was back in May 17. See here, there's something new they're doing with realtor.com, but I don't deal with realtor.com. So there's 75 of them here in America, right? Let me see something. So they used to do, hold on. See, they still have it under fast. Weird. I don't know why. I got to reset that. Give me a second. All right, so there's that. Let me just, I want to see something real quick here. Let me log out of here. Let me see the one for here. Oh, that's an old one. This one here, I think. There we go. That was a temp. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that. Okay. See this one I did in 21 when I set Pier 21 up with them. So I originally did it in 17. I transferred it to Pier 21 when I opened the brokerage. Okay, so let's see here. So this one has 78. There's 3 more on this one. Now I need to see. And then this would be the one. Settings.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if there's some way to get a
No, there's a
snapshot of that, because
printout.
that's actually nice. Do you think that that would be good marketing material to also
Yeah,
send along with the-
I used to do that. I used to have that in my listing presentation in my reports. Hold on. I just gotta find it. I have it. I just gotta.
Okay.
I just want to see if it's on the internet. If I can find it on the internet, it's no hassle. I can go through and search it and get it. I just
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, wherever it is, it's just because I got hit with that. I was like, uh-oh.
Everything.
This is their selling feature. Hold on. That's the online. That's here. International advertising. Here we go. Complete list of websites. Right here it is. Okay, these are all the websites in every country that it goes on. So South Africa, Morocco, Australia, French Polynesia. You said Poland, right? South
Yeah.
America. Let's go to Europe. Europe. Poland. Morazon.pl.
Okay.
Offerty.net. There's 2 of them. There's 3. Domi.pl. 3 of them. There's 3 sites. You want to see the site? You go here. Boom. There it is. It's in Polish. I can't read it.
Yeah. Is that 180, all of those?
Hold on. What was it? I don't even know what this says. I guess blue's good, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. But that's
Okay.
the site. Like you put an address, like whatever you do, and then
Yeah.
they'll have American properties. I guess you can somehow search here for properties in America, and it'll be there. And then all these over here. I mean, you got luxury. This is luxury networks, so this would be like luxury, high end, like more luxurious websites that people put those properties on. There's stuff in South America.
Okay.
So that gives you the international network there. And then list of portals. Let's see. So there's all the portals there. So,
Got it.
but there's a printout of this. I just got to find it. Let's see. That's that
87
one.
portals, 50 countries. Okay, got it.
No, but there's more. I'm just on this page. The one that I have is 108, 140 countries, including the United States. Let me find it though. Hold on. I
That's
have
okay.
it.
Or whenever
I'll
you.
send it to you guys. It's in my. I haven't used it with Pier 21 because I just go over it and show to people. But I had a whole printout and a whole thing for listing presentations before that I used to page through it, and I can show you because when we did the property reports, I attached it to the end of every property report. So we can
Yeah.
do that. Like when we run reports now, you can attach things to the property reports. So if you want to put one together, we can and put that to it. I'm gonna find an old property report that I ran. Hold on. And I'll show you what it looked like in the property report. That's probably the easiest way for me to find it right now. So I just don't know if I have it on this computer. When my computer crashed and I recovered the hard drive, I didn't put everything back on it. I have stuff on another hard drive for my past business stuff. I just don't know if I have it on here. Find out in a second. I don't think I do. Probably not.
Maybe check under the marketing.
I don't think so, but I'll look. This is all the new stuff for here, not for past. Their past marketing.
It's okay. I mean,
No, I want to find it.
Yeah.
I want to find it now. I'm like, you know, because I actually want to look at. It's a good idea to use that. These are events and stuff. Not in there. It'll be with my old clients. You know what? I think I know where I got them in the email. So they'd be in my old emails. My personal email. Let me see. Is that the right email? Okay, let's look real quick before we get out of here. Clients here. Let's look. I think I wanted. I would have done a listing for. Nope. Okay.
did you guys? I don't know if you guys heard, but down here in Miami, there was another a condo building that was deemed. It basically failed the safety.
Did it really? I didn't hear about it. When just now?
Yeah, I just saw it on the news today.
Jeez, man.
Wow. And in Jacksonville, it was like last month or so like that. We had an entire brand new building catch flame because of the cheap material used. Nobody was living in it yet.
That's insane, dude. Hold on here. That
They
was.
don't know what to do now. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. How does that work, Phil? Like
Did they put the people
obviously-
out? Like, did they condemn it?
No, they haven't forced anyone to move out yet, but
I'm
like
sure people are getting out of there though. They don't want to be in there.
yeah, some people moving out. But I don't understand like what happens in this situation because probably at least 10 to 30% of these buildings are gonna fail.
You know,
So
it's condemned. If they condemn it, that's it, man. I mean, if they condemn it,
so that means all the owners basically just lost their asset.
lawsuits. There's going to be lawsuits. But what about the banks with mortgages? You know, I mean,
So who are they suing though? They're suing the HOA?
they're gonna sue the. Oh, I don't know who they would sue the builder.
But the builder's like, I mean, the HOA is responsible for the upkeep, right?
The HOA would be responsible for the upkeep, but if it was a building, if it was something built that was incorrect, it's going to go back to the builder. You know?
Yeah.
Trying to find old reports here. I don't have them in here.
But you know, if the builder is dead and gone, then there's nothing, right?
If they're out of business, they're done. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you would have recourse. I mean, I guess you would go after the association or anybody who worked on the building. Like anybody who, you know what I mean? Like would have done the building, like would have done it.
Yeah.
Like any work to it, maintenance, bad maintenance. You know, like the one that collapsed, they blamed some of the maintenance company for damaging it. Like some of that, they tried to sue them too. The people who did the maintenance. Remember the people who redid the pool? They went after the people who redid the pool. Remember?
But that's just a scapegoat. I mean,
Yeah,
the
no, I'm
pool
just saying,
isn't
but they go after whoever they can. Like
yeah.
they said when they fixed the pool, they said they damaged it. But then they said when the pillars weren't done right, right? They said they didn't do the pillars right. I just gotta find where's that kid's file? Kevin here. Kevin Thomas. There should be one in here. Inspection. Better. Nope. See, I used to not save them because they stayed in the system, but then they reset that. I'm gonna find one, guys. I'm on a mission here. Photography. Here, seller report, probably in here. Okay, I think I found it. So this was a seller report we did. Nope, shit. Wasn't in there. Give me a second. That's because it was a report ran from her, not ran from me. Hold on. Same thing. Yeah, same thing.
I like her picture though.
Yeah, she's all right. She does good. She does business consulting now. She does like real estate for commercial. Let's see here. Here. That was a good one. See that one?
Yeah.
What was that kid's last name? Hold on. What the hell is his last name? Wolf. That should be in there. Wolf. There we go.
I stumped Phil.
No, I just
Right,
kept
right.
looking, guys.
You
I
got him
have
good.
it. I just don't.
You
Hold on.
got him good.
No, I'm gonna get it. I gotta find it. Maybe. I'm trying to think when I used to put it in and when I didn't. When the cutoff was. I just don't remember when I stopped doing it. When I stopped using it as a tool.
I mean, even whatever was on the web, we could probably create.
It's a really cool layout because it gives all the flags and it gives all the actual website. It's like it's like really sharp the way they used to do it. Then they changed how they advertised it, and it's just like
Yeah.
I just kept using it.
If you typed list hub into the search bar, would it pick it up as a keyword?
No, because it was it's a file. It's not It would be it'd be a address thing. It wouldn't be, it's what I ran on, what do you call it?
Yeah,
On
I
the
remember seeing it
reports.
before. I know we have one.
I just don't, Connor, maybe this one? I don't know why they're not here. What's off?
Okay, so any new property that you have listed recently, would you have submitted those to List Hub?
Everything, every listing I put live goes on List Hub. My
Okay,
current
so-
listings on List Hub.
So can you pull up a current one?
I could, I guess. Let me, hold on. Let me go through. Well, no, because it's on Flex. Hold on. Let me see. I'll tell you in a second. I don't have this one in Beaches. I only put it on this one up here. Hold on. See. See, Flex won't link it directly. I have to go through the other one to get to it because Flex doesn't connect. Flex doesn't offer List Hub. I got List Hub through the other in Orlando and Beaches. Flex isn't something List Hub, like List Hub and Flex don't work together. So
Yeah.
that's why when I put the listing in Orlando, I pull it from there. This one I have just up here because it's just a new construction. It's not something for down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't. Give me a second. Where can I have it? Let me look in my matrix. Hold on. Might be in here in my if I can go back far enough. I just don't feel like digging out my hard drive, all my old shit on it.
No, we won't make you do that.
I'm gonna do it later. I just don't, I gotta find it because I want to pull it anyway. Yeah. See, it's not gonna have my old. It's probably not gonna have my old files. See, when you set this up in your settings, you can put folders in. Where is it here? There. See, I go to run a report. Let me just pull up an address here. Just gonna pull anything up here. Run a report. So if I go to run a report, see here, you can see custom pages.
Mhm.
I used to have in here the List Hub report. It used to go in with the reports automatically.
Mhm.
I just don't have them right. They're not here. Like I've never, there's a pre-approval form, but that's not gonna be it. I gotta find where I have it. Motherfucker, man. I know I have it. I had a past real estate folder, real estate like past with everything in it. I don't see it in here. All the investment stuff is here. Flipping. Marketing. So that's not. Where is it? It's driving me crazy, man.
Just find it for tomorrow.
I will. I'll have it for tomorrow for you guys. I promise.
Okay.
Just gotta find
I'm
it. It's already 10.
I'm gonna log off.
Yeah. So guys, work on
Okay.
this. Work on this stuff.
Mhm.
Get this down. I'm telling you, it's the key. This is the key. Okay. And then
Okay.
I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Okay.
I'll get that done. I'll
Bye.
email it to you guys. Okay.
Bye.
See ya.